And here we are again, in another thrilling adventure of the Kobolds, as they get closer and closer to their eventual goal of ending our Veilture race and our hold over the Dale. Or rather, their revenge, perhaps. Revenge for their fallen comrade. But one step closer, they come to it. As they ascended the tower of Riolarthus and put to rest some brains in jars that were living in a fantasy realm of their own creation, it had come to all of your attentions that Riolarthus himself was approaching the tower. Quite low on resources, you all were trying to decide what to do next when you were approached by an individual by the name of Veneranda. A curious individual who was also a brain in the jar herself, but attached to a very heavy metal body made of chartolin. She let you stay in her laboratory, safe from the gaze of Riolarthus. In exchange, she gave a little bit of information about the fall of Yithrin and the current state of her former master. She also told you the location of a staff of power, Riolarthus' staff of power, which could be used to activate the obelisk and also possibly destroy it. But she made it very clear that her intentions were to simply bring the city back to its former glory, or at the very least, make it anew. She told you where the staff was, and perhaps some more artifacts along the way, and the higher you went along the tower. And as you went across the invisible bridge that separated your section of the tower from the next, you met a construct of light and illusion magic by the name of Everlast, who gave you a little bit of information about the tower itself, as well as cautiously, cautiously trying to avoid Veneranda in her plan to use the staff in some way, of which was not completely elaborated on. But of course, you would know it would be relating to the obelisk in some way. Everlast also told you that the tower had many secrets, of which they were not allowed to tell you any of them, but did warn you that the tower contained a few traps to prevent intruders. But in any case, Everlast told you that their main purpose, not too dissimilar from Veneranda, was to see the city restored in some fashion, or at least to see it in the skies once more. And so you all went to the second part of the tower, to which you were met with a curious force field surrounding the hole that you guys had found, and a latch attached to a hatch, which led you there, and guarded by two strange blades made of force, to which Everlast, unable to tell you the secret, tried to point you in the right direction, but of course it activated the security system, to which they lamented that they couldn't tell you was about to take place, should you try and break the force field. But thankfully, you all managed to take care of the security system, and you all led yourselves to this section of the tower. A very large open space with a strange twinkling starscape swirling in the center of the room, surrounded by several chairs, each marked with a symbol of magic. You explored a little bit of this section and discovered a few things. You discovered one room containing the spindle that had caused the fall of Yithrin in the first place, hovering in some sort of stasis in this broken chamber. And in the other chamber, you had found a partially destroyed library, but with some good information. Namely, of how to access the next part of the tower. But also, you had found a scroll. A scroll of immense power that could conjure a comet from the very skies themselves. And lay waste, to a large area and cause immense destruction in the process. Handily being put away for future use against a certain white dragon, no doubt. You had also found an adamantine key, with which you have not yet found the lock of which it unlocks. But perhaps you will soon enough. But back to the information you had uncovered before. Villin had found a book. Had given information about how to unlock the next part of the tower, specifically to gain access into the study. And she sat down on one of the chairs, one marked with the symbol of necromancy. And the chamber around you shook slightly. And she looked at the rest of you and said, "Well, what should our next move be?" I'll leave the rest to you. So, what do you all do?
Repeatedly eye the spindle. Listen, you sure we can't take it now?
Now, granted, Hawks, I don't decry your want of power and something special. I mean, I can feel you there, Villain will say. But I'm a bit more concerned what effect moving it will have, if at all. Something that can cause magic to be essentially erased for a small amount of time is of great concern, and yet, she thinks for a minute, I'm sure the Brotherhood would very much like to have something like that. Of course, I'm not going to stop you from taking it. It's just, well, she kind of looks to the rest of you for support on this.
I feel like
we got other things we got to get done first.
Yes.
Yes. Also, messing with that will inevitably lead to madness and chaos.
Oh, of that I have no doubt.
Which, I mean, like, normally I'm kind of in for madness and chaos, but this would be the non-magical kind, and that's just no fun. Anti-magic.
Indeed. I have to say, this star system in front of us is very interesting. It reminds me of the observatory that we saw before in the caves, but this seems fully realized.
Yeah. Do we know anything about this? Like,
Well, there are many stars in the sky, some even form constellations.
Did we see anything in the observatory? I just remember seeing a toad.
Not in the observatory. There was specifically where we found the drow.
Oh, right, that place.
Yes, if you remember, some of the walls had constellations, I believe, etched into the walls, and this, I believe, I can spot a couple. At least I think I see a few of them in there. I don't know if it's relevant though.
I get all sorts of confused with all this magic stuff. I mean, I
did
got
you-
my own magic, but
Was there
Arcana's just not
something-
my
was there something we could do with this that we found? We found instructions for. Am I thinking of something else?
Well, we'd found instructions, not for the stars, I believe, but I don't recall anything like that. But she opens the book that she found again. There was a specific passage in here. Master Ariolathus opens the door to his study when 3 or more of his apprentices, or those empowered by the goblet in the House of the Arcane, are seated correctly in the Chamber of the Ebon Star. I can only assume this is the Chamber of the Ebon Star.
Hmm.
Actually,
What is the goblet?
what is the Ebon Star? I'm curious now.
I'm wondering if, like, if I sit in a place where, like, my highest level spell I have prepared if that counts, because I'm not a wizard.
Right, I'm not sure if it would work, but it's worth a try. What is your the school
Right
of your
now,
highest skill?
the highest level spell I have prepared is an evocation spell.
Evocation. She kind of like looks around the room a little bit. I believe evocation is there, right at the end.
Well, should I? Anybody have any objections?
I have done.
Yeah.
Yes?
Go for it.
I sit in the chair.
Okay, you sit in the chair. Get a little comfy. It's definitely made for someone much larger than you. Kind of like trying to like get a little bit comfortable in it, but it's kind of hard. Nothing seems to happen.
I wasn't one of the ones that passed the ritual, so maybe, Canuck, maybe you should try it.
Okay, I
Just
guess
stand
I'll
up.
try evocation. But what was this goblet in the arcade, in the House of the Arcane, of the Tower of the Arcane?
Well, to
It
my
was-
knowledge, the House of the Arcane, she kind of flips through pages. Apparently, it was a house of learning. The goblet granted some small amount of magical power to those who drank from it. The book doesn't say much more of that.
Well,
I believe it,
you're
it does
not-
give a good description, though. It's a building with 8 tusk-like towers on the sides. I believe we saw a building like that.
well, okay, that thing was saying that it's either 3 of his apprentices or people who have drunk from that goblet, right?
Indeed.
So maybe we need to go and find that before we can do anything with this.
Perhaps. I will say, though,
Let's-
she kind of like gets up. She will get up from her seat and then kind of slap the book shut. I'm curious if there's an easier way out of the tower. I would loathe if we had to climb back all the way down and go through all that nonsense again.
Hmm. Well, there's still a door down here we haven't looked at.
That is true. Who did someone find? Someone had found a key, correct?
Was it Scales? No, it was me. I have it.
Ah, that's right. It's adamantine, strangely enough.
Fancy.
So they
I can
definitely
use it to
didn't
knock
want to be
down
locked
doors.
out.
It's the only door that I see besides the ones we came through. She'll kind of gesture towards the door. Should we unlock it, or?
Is there a lock in it?
As you look at the door, there is in fact a lock.
Might as well try it.
All right. You'll kind of like scamper towards the door, and you kind of like you have to kind of like get on your toes a little bit to get to slot the key in, but you kind of and
Can I get a boost?
Yeah, let me
You've always
just
been a great contribution to the team. We believe in you.
Yeah, you see Hawks come up behind you, and he will give you a little bit of a boost.
Ah, much appreciated.
All right. With that, you hear the door as many locks seemingly come undone at once on the inside of the door. Strangely, you open the door, and there's another force field, but this is of a similar consistency of the one that you used to get into the tower in the first place. So as you stretch out your hand, Meepo, you quickly realize you can just walk in and out, but it is in fact a balcony that overlooks the entirety of the city. Ah,
So
there's
we
an
can
easy
fly.
way out. As soon as you do you go out there, Meepo?
I'm looking at the others first.
Oh,
We'll need the goblet, I think, if we can do anything else.
I think that's how it's gonna work. Great.
I believe so as well. Well, thankfully, my resources have come back to me. I have enough power for multiple uses of fly, so we should be quite good with that.
And we're not in a hurry, aside from just like not getting killed by that skull.
Right, we should be on alert in case it comes back to the tower.
Right. We also do probably want to try to take it out if we have the resources and we're not in the tower.
Right.
Because anytime we've come up against it, it's been a time where we were like not ready for it, or you know, we were in the tower and not ready for it.
Well, do we feel confident now?
I think so. What about the rest of you?
Well, the degree to which I am hurt is so slight that I might as well not even care about it. And
Understand.
otherwise, I've got most of my runes ready.
Right? I used a couple of
I'm
spell
okay.
slots on some curses, but that was it. I think.
I don't think I used any spell slots in the preceding time. So, let's go and get this goblet, and then maybe check back in with Veneranda somehow. And we'll see where we stand then.
All right. As you look out over the balcony, I would say, let's see here. Balcony-wise, I'm trying to think of like where you would be spatially, because it doesn't really specify that in the module. I would say the balcony would be... Oh, actually, hold on.
Is this the balcony right here?
That is what I'm thinking, yes. I think it would be like right here.
Ooh.
And you look down at the city, and from the description that Villain she gave you, it seems that the House of the Arcane is this building down here, the one with several spikes. It's a rectangular-looking building. It's very close to the Tower of Conjuration, but it has these several towers that are very spikely and almost curl in like a rib cage. Well, better late than never, and you'll see Villain kind of slap your back, Hawks, and she will cast Fly on you.
Well,
Yep, immediately she just starts getting on your back. Well, no time like the present.
yep. I will go extra big.
Indeed you
All
will.
right.
Excellent. So, you all will then begin to fly down.
Kind of getting peckish. I wish I had some peanuts or something.
Didn't you say that you had some sort of baked good or something?
Oh, right. Let me check. Digging through my bag.
Yeah, we'll start kind of flying down.
I have 3 more cookies.
3 more cookies, you say?
There should be a spell that just duplicates food or duplicates things.
But then it'd be like a good berry situation, and then a create food and water situation. There's solutions. Can't remove the challenge of entirely.
Just use create
okay.
food and water and make it all cookies.
Okay, I had a hypothetical train of
And-
thought.
All right, what's
All
your
right.
train of thought?
Does, at a certain level, a wizard would be completely capable of using a combination of create food and water and
Wait, do wizards get that?
tiny. Well, I'm saying like if they did something like, for instance,
Oh, like Magnificent
not
Mansion?
not Magnificent Mansion, but like I was thinking in terms of like some combination of spells. Like if you went and did, for instance, like Magic Initiate Druid and got Goodberry,
I
there is
see.
a hypothetical situation where a wizard could tiny hut and just constantly have enough spell slots to refresh the tiny hut and enough spells to like feed themselves while they were in the tiny hut and just be indefinitely living in a tiny hut.
Just prepper wizard.
Just living it up. The Goodberry life.
The Goodberry life, yes. Just constantly live in a tiny hut and have no
Hashtag
one disrupt them
Goodberry
ever.
life.
Also sounds somewhat uncomfortable
Hashtag
because
Kobolds in a trench coat.
Well, if they were alone, they wouldn't really have to, they'd be able to fit a chair in there. They'd be able to fit a bed in there.
It's a 10-foot radius dome. It's actually
it's a lot more spacious than I thought, but even then, it's like
yeah. Like you would be living your life in a 20-foot diameter.
Dome, but like, okay, so the reason I was thinking about this actually has a lot
Secret
to do
chest
with,
gives you a bunch of extra space.
I was thinking about this specifically in terms of Hounds of Tyndalos and a solution to being chased by the Hounds of Tyndalos.
Oh, because
So,
you'd be in a dome.
because you'd be in a
As long as
dome.
you,
Yep.
yeah, as long as you got the bottom of it sloped properly.
You could, yes. So that's where that train of thought came from. Is could a wizard indefinitely hold out against the Hounds of Tyndalos?
see,
Mm.
I feel like things should be able to get into the dome at some point. Like it's a third level spell. Like it should do a lot of things, but like against higher level stuff, it should fall off.
No, to be
Well,
fair,
other things could like potentially burrow under it or go through the ethereal plane or whatever based on what we've seen. But like the Hounds specifically, their specific way of actually getting from place to place, you could invalidate with it. It's just that, other things
yeah.
would be able to do something
Right,
about
fair,
it.
fair. But I see what you're saying though. Like I'm just being a bit pedantic, but either way.
Let's see. What else was- You need to be a 6th level wizard to do this. You get three 3rd level spells to do a full, like, perfect coverage of Tiny Hut. That's not too bad, actually.
That isn't bad. And speaking of what isn't bad, you now see the House of the Arcane before you. The 8 tusk-like towers seem to be embedded in the walls of this monumental building. The spires arching over it, like I described, almost like that of a rib cage peering over. As you get closer to the center, you'll notice that there is a large cathedral-like door, which is heavily ajar and shattered. As you head inside, it's very clear this was once a place of study for novice mages. Perhaps one where one learned which schools of magic would become their life's work. You can see inspirational paintings of professors like overview it, like looking over students with like a stern but wise gaze. Very much this was once a place of learning. You even see a large auditorium that seems to hold something interesting. As you get further into the building itself, you'll see 8 stained glass windows overlooking this auditorium. The benches, glistening with frost, seem to be arrayed in a broken row, facing a raised lectern in the center. And you will see what you have come here for: a bejeweled goblet resting on the lectern. You'll see steam rising from its contents, which then dissipate in the cold air. But there is the goblet before you, on the lectern. About, I'd say, 30 or so feet away.
You have Mage Hand, right, Snack?
I do. With the power of magic.
I feel like lecterns and objects sitting on them that have been sitting on them for a long time have something of a tendency to be trapped.
All right.
Yeah.
What does your mage hand look like as you cast it, Skinnock?
Hmm,
I might have asked this before, but what is it?
no, I don't think he did actually.
It's a grappling hook.
Ooh, that's quite something.
And it's like a magical thing. Like, is it like it like moves in midair? Like it's like a very magical grappling hook. Like you move like a winch or something.
It's a tiny
I think
drone.
like there's like one of those grappling hooks. You know, it's you pull it out. It's got the claw. It looks like it's got the claw that opens up as you fire it.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of having the line attached to it, just like fires off like a drone with a little rocket.
Meow, 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 meow. You can hear like little noises as it makes its way over to the
Yep.
goblet. Eventually, though, it does reach where the goblet is, and it's like a claw machine, and like one of those
Yep.
vending machines. Like it slowly like tries to grasp it, and like it kind of slips a couple times. You're like it kind of finagle a little bit, but then it solidly grabs onto the goblet, and it pulls it away. And as it pulls it away, you'll see a spectral form appear next to the lectern and smashes down. But at that point, the mage hand has already left the space and is already drifting towards you, and that seemingly spectral form disappears.
Wow, that was lucky.
But you now have the goblet in your hand. It's very ornate. It's very much like the trophy that you had won from from the lightning ball game. The goblet is embedded with 8 colored crystals, and you look at them, and Villain kind of looks at it as well, and she tells you that it represents the 8 schools of magic.
Right.
As you kind of look inside, there is a liquid. It looks like water. There is steam, as I mentioned before, rising off of it.
Let's take the time to cast this as a ritual. And
Detect-
see what type of magic does it look like.
Detect magic? Okay.
Yeah.
You will... Takes you a bit, about 10 minutes or so. But, you know, there isn't it's a big sense of urgency, so everyone can kind of rest a little bit during this time. You sense that the goblet has a little bit of divination magic on the goblet itself. But the liquid carries a signature of all schools of magic.
Interesting. I really should have cast Identify instead. I keep forgetting I have that. So that's what I do. Okay. What were the instructions again? It was someone who drank from the goblet, right?
Correct. So anyone who drinks from the
Oh.
goblet is essentially valid for that.
Oh, fuck it. Bottoms up.
Yeah, from
take-
the you take a swig, and Villain was kind of like going. She's kind of like going through like flipping through the book as you're like holding. It's like, yes, to my knowledge, it was meant for those who had graduated essentially as a rite of passing, similar to the Arcanocted. And you've already
So,
drank it.
What kind of level spell is Mage Hand?
Cantrip.
Right, and you just used a cantrip to get this thing that you had to be basically a graduate to drink from.
I mean, I could have used a fireball to get it, but that would have been a little bit tricky.
Well, I mean, it's an auditorium. I think it's more meant to be a, you know, a celebratory
Ceremonial thing?
Yeah, ceremonial thing. It's not meant to like be heavily guarded. I mean,
Right, but
I imagine there are ways to counteract the effects just as much as it is to the effect to exist in the first place. I mean, that's why they have, you know, you kind of like point gestures out towards the city. I mean, there's the anvil. I mean, oh gosh, I don't even want to think about that. Do you think they could hammer out the effects of a spell on someone by hitting someone with... Never mind, I'm not going to think about it.
I mean, maybe.
I'm just wondering, like, couldn't a student like snatch the thing, drink it, and then find their way into the? I guess they have to do the octad first.
Maybe, yeah.
That's true, they would have to do the octad. It's only a small piece of the puzzle.
I
And,
feel like
and plus, who knows if the chairs were even common knowledge to begin with? So they would have to even know of their existence in the first place.
in a place like this city, if you manage to pull it off as a student, you either like get rewarded for it or get horribly, horribly killed.
Yes, that's the impression that I'm getting.
It could go either way though.
I mean,
I guess it just depends on how charismatic you are in the moment.
such is the way with
Yeah.
all wizards, really. She kind of shrugs. It's just the name of the game. But you drank it. You drank it indeed, Skinak.
I took a sip.
You took a sip.
A scared sip.
Well, a sip will be enough. Let's see here. And I will say, it's surprisingly, well, or rather unsurprisingly warm as you drink out of it. Because it was steaming, but it's not scaldingly hot, as the steam would suggest. And it tastes like water, too. Doesn't seem to have any special flavor to it. She's like, oh, it's kind of weird, just kind of bland. And then your head explodes. But not in a gore, but like explodes with light.
Oh no!
And there's a bit of fire. There's a bit of fireworks. And I need you to roll a d8 for me.
All right, a D8.
Divination.
Let's
5.
see here. Oh, Okay. In a surprisingly fitting fashion, you'll see a mark appear on your forehead, Skunk. For a brief moment, it flashes. Almost as if by prestidigitation, a small spark of fireworks. The symbol of evocation.
Fair enough.
Oh, pretty.
You also get an effect that occurs with this. You suddenly gain the sense that you can cast something new. You can cast the Dancing Lights cantrip as an action at will. You feel something else going on inside you, but for now, this is all that seems to be happening. So for right now, you can cast Dancing Lights and call it Charm of the Evoker. Just put it in your abilities somewhere.
Oh, it's concentration, because of course it is. This is so fitting on so many levels.
It's so fun. I mean, to be fair, it's meant to be an outer combat spell, but it's so funny that like you are just constantly saddled with restrictions by concentration, and just you have so many gripes about it. It just gives me life, and also I feel very sad.
There we go. That's just...
There you go. So, you now have the Charm of the Evoker.
Oh.
So, how do you feel?
Who are you?
Oh no, not again.
This time it's
One moment.
Canuck.
A surprisingly good deception roll. All of you can roll insight if you wish.
Advantage on insight.
14. Oh, yeah.
Villain's gonna roll as well.
You got me.
Valen just has her head in her hands. Oh no, I can't deal with this again. Meepo, do something.
You want I should use a spell on it?
Hox Hagnar, Skinnock is messing with you all.
I guess I could remove curse.
Oh, how could this have happened to our friend? This is so terrible that this would happen to someone else. It's okay, buddy. We're here for you. Even if you can't remember a single thing about us, we're here for you.
Should we roll insight on that
And
as well?
I'll wink to Skinnock.
I'm gonna say, because it's a wink like that, this will be passive insights. Like whatever your bonus to insight is, plus, so like it's like 10 plus your insight bonus.
24.
That's passive?
That's passive.
Good lord. Okay, yeah, you would see the wink. And you figure something's up.
LOL, Steven, you rolled a 2.
I rolled a 2.
Rolled it too. And it still came within a hair of beating me.
Expertise is a hell of a drug.
Oh man.
So yeah, you notice that, Meepo. Evelyn's like, well, go on, do something. Cure him, do something.
I want to try this new thing. I got this new one. Here, Skanuk, lie down. Lie down. Now, where's that drill?
I'm scared. Truly, trepanning is so effective.
It's a miracle of Eldeath.
Oh yes, a miracle of Eldeath. Evelyn was looked somewhat confused. I didn't even see you do anything. That's quite an effective spell.
The power of threat.
Well, we have the goblet, though. I believe we can just simply head back.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to split from this? I think we
Well,
probably need 3 people.
Assuming we need more, I'll go ahead and drink from it, I guess.
Yes, I believe it said we needed 3, so if at least one more of us does. And you kind of like... Do you hand over the goblet to Scales, Skanuk?
Yeah.
Alright. Scales, you will also kind of like look at it. Just looks like regular steaming water. Do you take a drink?
Yeah.
Okay.
It tastes completely fine, trust me.
Alright. Roll a 1d8 for me, Scales. And you drink it, and despite the oddly threatening tone of Skanuk, it tastes completely fine. Interesting. Okay. You, Scales, you suddenly see Scales become tough like iron for a second, and then all the iron kind of shatters and then drifts off him, like turns to rust and crumbles. And you see the symbol of abjuration appear on his forehead for a split second and then disappears. You have the charm of the Abjurer, Scales. So this charm allows you to cast Blade Ward at will. So I of course, I should note, Intelligence is the casting modifier for these spells.
Oh.
This is effectively a wizard spell.
I feel like if I drink some, I'm going to get the charm of the enchanter and be cursed again.
I still gotta remove curse if we need it.
Okay, then give me a drink too. I was just getting thirsty.
Alright. The goblet is very tiny compared to you, Hux. You have to kind of like pick it up with your 2 index claws as you're trying to like your thumb and your index claw, and you just kind of like lean it up to your mouth, and you kind of have to gently tilt it so it doesn't spill. Go ahead and roll a 1d8 for me, though. 4.
Swear to God, this is actually enchanter.
You suddenly, for a moment, Hux, you're like, oh man, who are these people again? But they're like, oh wait, no, they're my friends. And then you think, friends. Friends. Yeah. You gain the ability to cast the Friends cantrip as an action at will.
I'm guessing this is indeed the charm of the
It is the charm of the enchanter, yes. You see the symbol of enchantment appear above your forehead.
Calling stuff like that. I don't even get it.
It's like your superpower.
Anyway.
Floor.
Meepo is definitely going to take a drink at this point.
Alright, go ahead and roll a 1d8, since people are drinking anyway.
Might as well. I mean,
Might as well.
Chow.
Yeah, you will notice as well, Meepo, as you're handed the goblet, you see, of course, Hawks had to drink quite a bit. But as you see it, it looks empty, but then the liquid fills right back up.
Wow, that's the conjuration magic working on it.
Yeah. Okay. You'll watch as Meepo turns into a stone statue. And then cracks, and then comes back, becomes normal again.
It occurs to me that I should really learn remove curse.
It's fine though, because you're fine now, Meepo. The statue cracks, and Meepo, you're fine. You just kind of dust some of the clay dust off of you, and the symbol of transmutation appears above your head, Meepo. You can cast prestidigitation at will.
I like this one.
Yeah.
I guess it's not really like a healing cantrip.
Yeah, and
Is
as you're
this
all
last-
kind of like feeling the power welling within you all, you feel after the initial drink, you felt like the surge of power. Do you feel it steadily weakening over time? You get the sense this might be a temporary effect. But given how strong you feel, I'd say roll intelligence arcana checks for anyone who wants to.
Let's see. Swing!
Swing.
14.
Okay, for Scales and Skanuk, given the strength of the magic which was cast, you've seen certain spell effects like this that last for a good amount of time. It probably would last like a good, another day until this effect goes away. It's like a good 24 hours, you think?
Oh, that's convenient. Very convenient.
Well, I think, considering I don't need it, and it's already recognized my acclivity towards the arcane arts, I don't think I need to drink anything. So, I think at this point we can go ahead and head back.
I could make the drink taste like something if you wanted to try it.
She kind of looks at you for a second, smiles. What would you make it taste like?
Hot cocoa, probably.
That is tempting. You know what? Hit me. And she just kind of reaches out for the goblet.
I will use prestidigitation.
Alrighty. She takes a drink, and now I need to roll a 1d8.
It's gonna be the necromancy.
That would be very funny if that was the case.
Because she'll just learn a spell she already has, because there's like one necromancy.
You have got to be kidding me!
Necromancy
What's the
is
spell she uses all the time? Is it like chill touch?
It's like, I feel like I've gained nothing from this.
Well, did it taste like hot chocolate?
Okay, so that was a bit harsh of me. I gained deliciousness. But the magic that it bestowed upon me was magic that I already knew.
Well, it just tells you you took the right choice in life.
I suppose so. I would drink it again, but I don't know what would happen if that were to occur. So she will just kind of place it back on the lectern. Well, kind of claps her hands. I think we're done here.
Yeah, probably.
I will say, fun little sidetrack.
Yeah. Wait, we're not leaving that here, obviously, right? Stealing it?
She kind of looks at you, looks back at the glass. Yeah, she's about to place it on the lectern. She's like, you know what? I'm thinking better of it. She just place it in the hole. She just kind of shoves it in your hand, Skanak.
Yep, into the bag holding.
Into the hole it goes. All right,
There's
everyone.
gonna be so many,
Go ahead.
so many ancient lost magical artifacts just in this backpack.
Yeah, absolutely nothing could go wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
We're good.
Absolutely fine. In any case, I will say, with all that said and done, there's probably nothing more to be gained here. So, guys, go ahead and head back and fly back up to the balcony proper. And let me bring y'all back to the spire of a real Arthas. And I have to move the camera back. You'll see Marte just kind of twiddling their toe claws, like, you're back.
Oh. Oh. Now.
Did you find what you were looking for?
Yes.
Good. Now let us proceed. You'll see Villain kind of walk over to the chair of necromancy. All right. See the room tremble slightly.
Which one was the chair of abjuration?
Let's see. The chair of abjuration is this one over here. This one right there. And evocation was over here. Transmutation is right there.
Yeah. Where was the evocation?
Evocation's
Yeah.
over here, darling.
Excellent.
Enchanting.
You feel as if you are too big for these chairs, Hawks. But you look at the chairs, the one next to both Villin and Skinnock as the enchantment chair.
Ox will step over and place a single foot in the chair.
Do the Riker maneuver.
We have to switch legs real quick because the foot he places is a fake one. I was like, wait, it might not register that. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, strangely, so the order of operations is, as Villin, Scales, and Skinnock sit down, the tower begins to rumble. And at this point, Hawks, your back is turned, so that you see, all of you except Hawks, see the starscape inside the room begin to swirl slightly. And then all the stars begin to form the space of a door. And then, Hawks, you put your false leg on the step, and you're feeling that rumbling. So you might think that the false leg might have actually worked, perhaps. At this point, Hawks, you now see the door behind you as well is opening. Now we'll put like a little funny shape here. Here is the doorway. Man. Then we'll kind of step out.
All right. Now, the last time we went through a magic doorway,
Yes, I recall. Very terrible, no good, very bad things. In threes.
Right. Shall we cast some stuff on ourselves just to make sure that we're not caught off guard this time?
Well, I already have fly. I'm already
Oh.
concentrating on fly for Hawks.
All right.
I mean, I could just step through first and, you know,
Well, let me at least embolden you and the group.
I feel bolder already. Kobolder. That's... Wait.
It was a worthwhile try. Villain will just kind of tap your knee pad. As, Meepo, as you go to cast Emboldening Bond, or rather, activate Emboldening Bond, you feel the air around you grow slightly cold. And all of you begin to feel that slight chill as well. You recognize this feeling because it was the same feeling that you felt when Areolarthus entered his tower.
Oh. That's awkward. Oh.
Okay, well, we'll probably have to fight him then.
We'll just do it real quick and get out. There's a balcony we can leap off.
A snatch and
That is
grab.
true.
A snatch and grab, then.
Alright, portal. Big portal.
All right. You walk through. It almost feels like you're going through a bit of mist, Hawks. You feel a strong sensation of cold and a little bit of wetness, like condensation forms around your scales. And then, you're immediately, as you enter the portal, you hit your knee on a table in front of you, and I'll change maps here. But your knee just goes like full force right into this table. But yeah, you see the room before you proper. You will see before you what appears to be a large chamber that has clearly lain undisturbed for centuries. You see cobwebs layered upon cobwebs, and you cough slightly as the dust is overwhelming. Let me see here. Actually, you would not. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, you kind of stepped to the side a little bit to get a better sense of the room. Let me see here. Let's see. Currently, it seems that you're on a lower level. To the east and west of you, there are staircases leading upward, and there is a slight alcove, or like a cliff. Not quite a cliff, sorry, that's wrong. There is basically a section of floor that is raised, like right behind where the portal is, like a good 15 or so feet, leading. That's basically like an edge of like a walkway, essentially. But like right here, in fact, there is quite a large laboratory of some kind, like a lot of just scattering of notes, many different things that you see here. Yeah, you see up above. I will say you're tall enough at this point to kind of see what's up there. I will say you kind of go on your tiptoes. You'll see on the second part of this section, there is a sunken library situated in a 20-foot wide, 10-foot deep circular pit, and a ladder running along a circular track inside seems to allow easy access to certain parts of it. I will say, though, quite easy to see. There appears to be a staff that is on this table over here, but you feel as if you're not alone in this room. You hear this groaning sound. It sounds like a piece of wood that is being stretched and creaking ad infinitum. Just
Hello?
there is no response. But you will see, sneaking up, it's a bit farther away from you, actually. Sneaking up from inside the sunken kind of section of this library, this slow-moving, rectangular, shadowy mass moves ever so slowly across the room. It seems to have noticed you. And you hear that creaking sound. Just...
Why have the rest of us not stepped through the portal yet?
Because Hawks was scouting ahead, as you
Oh.
suggested.
I never suggested that, and I didn't hear that suggestion, so I was confused.
That's what I heard.
I heard him stepping in first, just in case.
Yeah, I thought the plan was I would go through first, so unlike where we had like Muerte instigating immediately or, something else.
Yeah, I think it was just Hawks first, and then everybody else immediately after.
I don't know if I heard that plan, but all right.
I think that's what we were talking about when he said, if I go first.
All right, okay. I will say in that case,
Is that what you were saying, Hawks? Because that's what I understood, but I might be
That's
wrong.
what I thought, was that I would just step through first, and then if something was like waiting to hit us, I would soak the hit.
well, nothing soaked the hit,
Okay.
except
Well,
perhaps the table.
We give it a couple seconds, and then we come through at this point, probably.
You would, yes. There isn't enough room for Murty to squeeze in just yet, but the rest of you can.
We'll point out the thing. This is on a raised area here, right? All of this is...
Are we up or are we down?
You are down.
So the stairs here go up,
Correct.
and then there's a little like dip that goes into a bowl, basically,
Essentially,
or a
yes.
cylinder.
For some reason,
But
my
Hawks are-
internet is being weird a little bit, so your guys are roboting slightly. It's the rain here. Say something again?
Something again.
Okay, you're not roboting anymore. That was weird.
Okay.
Yeah, stream still seems to be alive, so hopefully it doesn't cut off suddenly and randomly.
Let me
So
check
yes.
for mine.
Hawks' like little top of his head is poking over the ledge, and I guess not little, like his very big top of his head is poking over the ledge and seeing this thing emerge, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He's like, something's coming from up there.
Yeah, I will say, as you guys see this happening, there's a little bit of light that appears in a crystal in the center over here. Is like, and you see the form of Everlast appear before you. Ah, there you are. I was wondering. Oh dear. At this point, I need everyone to roll initiative.
Hey, do you think? Say Everlast, is this one of like the original mimic things?
No,
assuming
that
so,
that is a living demiplane. Do not get caught by it. I cannot stress this enough. Do not. I insist. Please. Alright, so I need to get Valin's initiative in there as well.
Can it be hurt?
Can it be what?
Hurt.
Yes, it can. Although, I need to make a roll for him as well. Let me double check something. Let's see. Yes, it can be hurt. Alright, so let's see here. Gonna roll. Murtay's not technically in this initiative, right? Yep, but she will be soon. Let me go ahead and if people move, she'll go in. So let me get her token. Give me just a second. While I'm doing that, first up is you, Scales. There's right now you currently do not see the creature. There is a like 15 like 12-foot wall that is like between you and like the top floor over here. So you currently do not see whatever this thing is, but you do hear it though. You just hear that creaking and moaning sound repeating ad infinitum.
Okay. Is there a wall that separates like where the portal is and where Cortana is standing?
Let's Bixby.
There's no wall. There are tables here, and Hawks is kind of
Is-
cramming away a little bit, but since he's an ally, you can kind of duck under Hawks a little bit, so you can easily just kind of walk over this way.
Okay. Can I investigate this area?
You certainly may. That'll be your action to do so. But yes, you may. I was trying to do Orte's. Where the heck? There she is.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. For some reason. Let me see here. There we go. Sorry, this is a bit of a mess here, so I'm trying to make sure. Here we go. There we go. Okay, with a 19, let me see. I will say, as you're doing a quick scan through this lab, you will see 4 vials that appear to contain very expensive looking quicksilver. And of course, you would see a very intricate looking crystal rod on one of the tables as well. And of course, to your immediate right, you'll see what appears to be a long, crooked staff of some kind, clearly of great magical power. You can kind of feel the air kind of humming around it.
Four vials of quicksilver, a object of immense magical power, and then what was the second thing that I'm missing?
Let's see. So there was a intricate crystal rod, very expensive. 4 vials of quicksilver. Oh, there's actually a couple other things. There's the staff, obviously, but there's also on the table that you're actually currently standing next to, standing right beside, there is a very hefty-looking book. Actually, it appears to have faded, brittle yellow venom at the pages, and it's actually kind of funny. As you look at like the front, it has these toothy, parasitic-looking worms with like these weird spiky maws, kind of like laminated onto the cover. It's like a demented macaroni craft project almost, but it looks far more intimidating than a macaroni project could ever be. Clearly important looking.
Oh,
So, the crystal rod or whatever, the one that's not like the uber powerful one. Can I pick it up? And
Just
come in?
just the crystal rod. You can take that.
Yes, taking it.
It looks very expensive.
My turn in.
Yep. So that'll be your turn. After that, it'll be your turn, Skinook.
well. Let's see. We've got Professor Rod Scales has. There's the things. Are we just gonna like try and grab everything and run? Is that our? Or are we gonna try and fight this thing real quick? Hello? Am I muted?
You're not muted. We can
No.
hear you. Just no one has responded yet. You're thinking. I assume.
Yeah,
Well, I had
think
an idea. But it might fail.
Okay. So you'll try your idea, and until then, the plan will be to just grab and run. If it
Yeah.
doesn't work. Okay. Fair enough.
Well, in that case, yeah, I'm gonna start piling stuff in the bag. Let's see. I guess the quicksilver. I mean, no. The staff is obviously like, the big thing. We should probably grab that. So I'm gonna.
It practically hums with power.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna pick it up with the mage hand and chuck it in the bag.
Ooh.
It is an action to open the bag of holding.
Is it? Okay, then I'll just guess I'll just pick it up with mage hand then.
Let me double check that just to be sure, but I believe that is the case. Let's see, bag of holding, 5 aids, retrieving, let's see here. Hold on. Okay. So retrieving an item from the bag requires an action. So as far as actually, no, you can just chuck things in the bag. It's just taking them out that requires an action. So never mind. You can just chuck it in there.
Yeah,
Fair
you
enough.
gotta
Initiate the
search around.
shoveling. Yep. Okay, staffing first.
Alrighty. You got the staff. So that was your free object interaction.
Okay, and my action. I
Yep,
don't want to touch
action.
it directly.
Yeah, action was mage hand, I believe.
Yeah. Hmm. Any good bonus action? I mean, is the portal still open?
The border's still open.
Let's see. Well, what was that?
Oh, I accidentally pinged.
Oh, yeah, no worries. So there's still like the vials of Quicksilver and was there anything else? There's the rod and the staff and the Quicksilver.
There was the hefty
There was a
looking
book.
book and the vials of
Hmm.
Quicksilver. Yep.
Like this is where. Hmm. Okay, well, I assume Valen is going to go for the book because Valen.
Yeah, you see, as soon as like she kind of entered, she was like just like, "Jong." I just like clearly like laser beam, like laser pointing towards that direction.
Okay, I'm going to try and step through the portal again.
Okay, you step through, shoo, you disappear.
Oh, good. It's simple. Thank you.
Yep, and you
Let's
repeat,
get out
you
the river.
reappear back, and you reappear back in the space.
Cool. I'll just put myself over there.
Yeah, for now. All right,
The lovely timeout corner.
indeed. Hox Hagnar. As you're looking, I will say, as you're looking over at this living demiplane, as Everlast described it, you notice. I'll say, just make a free perception check for me. No action required.
Okay.
9. You see the hint of something in the sunken library over there, but you can't get a good look at it.
12? Because of
Oh, 12? Oh, a 12? Okay, you would see. It's interesting because you recognize a similar looking casing that was very identical to the one that housed the Scroll of the Comet. Another very important looking case in the center of this library down there. Or up there, rather.
In
Is
the
where the-
center. Hmm. Am I big enough that I can climb over this wall?
You could, yes.
That would be just difficult terrain.
Yeah, just difficult
Effective.
terrain. Yeah, so like because of your height, I would say it takes no more than 5 feet, honestly, because you could probably just like hike yourself up there because you're so tall.
Okay. I had a plan previously, and so this second library is like it goes down from all angles.
Yeah, so it's
There's,
you know those living rooms that have like they sink downward into the floor. It's kind of like that, but for a library.
Got a conversation pit.
Yeah, like, conversation pit. It's like that but for a library.
Okay. And I would probably take an opportunity attack if I get this, but interacting with an object would be a free action.
I will say that the living demiplane is kind of surrounding the space right here. It's not like it's hovering in the air. It's like it's attached to like the solid ground surface. So like it's like a moving laminate in a way. It's just slinking across the ground like a shadow.
Are you implying that it wouldn't attack? It would try to like smother, or
roll an insight check. Or yeah, roll an insight check.
I have advantage on those.
Didn't he say like not to go into it?
Yes, and it also makes sense you have advantage on this as well, because if you didn't, I would have said you did. You get the sense that entering this creature's space would count in a negative way towards you. You gather the sense if it's a living demiplane, interacting with it, like going into its space, and because you're so big, would be doubly hard for you. There's a possibility you might get trapped in it. You don't know, like, you don't think it could take attacks of opportunity against you, so you'd have to be a bit careful with how you approach this.
But he's not smothering the scroll case, right?
No, he is directly next to it, so you wouldn't take attack of opportunity.
Okay. In that case, I will action surge and dash twice.
Okay.
So 90 feet of movement. You said it would be 5 feet up.
Yes.
So 30 feet there. Moving over this way to actually get to the library here.
Okay.
Grab the scroll case with my free action, object interact.
All right. You kind of lean down for a second. It kind of like it stops. And like, oh no, is it stuck? But then you pull slightly. It was just slightly lodged in there. It's fine. You just like kind of like just pull it free, and you got it.
Okay, and so by that measure, that should be, I think, 30. That should be 40 with the extra 5 feet from stepping up the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, I will then use a good bit of the rest of my movement to scooch back around it and get down to here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part of me, if I hadn't seen that, there's a part of me that wanted to just grab a whole table and shove it through the portal. Because that's a very Hawks thing to do. But in this case, having used my action surge and stuff, I don't think I can. So instead, I will yeet the scroll case through the portal.
Yeet! Skanuk, you suddenly feel a bap as you feel a very heavy-looking scroll case just whap you in the side of your face, and you kind of catch it.
Ooh, hey, ooh, piece of candy.
And so yes, that needed just more than what I would have gotten with a single dash, so it's a good thing I action surged. And then I guess from where I am, I'm going to assume that I want to kind of cover everyone else getting out. So I'll stay where I am.
Okay. Meepo, it is your turn. What do you do, Meepo?
I'll save DC 17, maybe question mark.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah,
It might just be like immune to it.
I need to. I don't. I need to check here. Hang on. Because it is.
And then even if it isn't immune to it,
Sorry, laughing kind of spoils the surprise here, but I can't help but laugh at this. Okay, it does need to make a save.
okay, so it's not immune.
Oh, hang on.
It's a dexterity save.
Yep.
Kind of weird.
10.
Yeah, does not make it.
Alright, so it's strange. You watch you watch as the shadow is suddenly picked up off the ground as if it's like there's this bubbling force that just kind of like bloop, 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 lifts it off the ground and encapsulates it. But then as it's separated from the ground, you watch its form begin to shimmer and it shatters because it's no longer in contact with the ground or a wall. So it's destroyed. But something else happens. So, I have a question for you, Meepo. Does the sphere only hold one creature?
Yeah.
Okay. You watch as the living demiplane collapses. You suddenly see reality fold unto itself, and you watch as the magic of the resilient sphere and the demiplane interact with each other, and there is a hole that just opens up outside of the sphere, and you see plopping out of it appear several forms. You will see two, like they scatter like 5 feet next to it. You will see a large, two large fleshy humanoid figures that look stitched together. They appear to be flesh golems. They just like flop like face first onto the ground next to where the next to where it used to be. And you will see more of those more of those Magians, but these are the ones that you saw in the Lightning Spike game. They also kind of tumble out of the hole, and one of them kind of like falls onto the librarian, like on its back, and just kind of flops back. Very ungraceful, all of this, as this is happening. But now I need to roll initiative for them, because they are now in combat.
Okay, when I see that happen, I'm gonna move over to the portal, stick my head through, and yell, "Muertes, Canuck, you might want to get in here," and then move
Ow.
back over here.
Oh, I'm so ready
Wait,
for
if I
this.
go in, if I go in the plane, I might explode. Oh, okay. She's already left. Okay.
Alright, so, here we go.
Now you can do the table shoving thing if you want, but we don't really have to.
Guess we have to.
Alright.
I mean,
The
Oh,
law
wait,
of
sorry.
comedy
Sorry,
demands.
hold on. That's completely
Law of-
wrong. It's not a +9. That's
the
completely
law
wrong.
of
It's a -1.
amazing ideas. Once you've come up with it, you must make it executed if possible.
I don't know why it don't... Okay, hold on. Don't know why the Flesh Golem got multiples of those. God, that's so messed up. Okay, here we go. Now I'll roll for the Galvin Magians. There we go. They get the +4 bonus. Oh, interesting. Okay. They'll go first next turn. Okay. So, that is your turn, Meeple, unless you have anything else. Now it's Muerte's turn. And Muerte is going to rush to the portal. I'm so ready, I'm so ready, I'm so ready. She leaps in.
Meatballs.
She jumps up here. That's practically all of her movement.
That's all she needs.
That's all she needs. It's eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger, you. So she will attack the maiden with her beak. Bring up her little thing. It is full health, so she doesn't get her bloodlust. That's fine. Still, though, that is a 23, which will hit. As well as 22, which will also hit. However, because she did damage, the second will be with advantage. 18, so it's not a crit. Okay, so ignore the 8, so 9 plus 7, that is 16 points of slashing damage to this Magian, who's not very happy. The artificial humanoid. You watch as she slashes this artificial mercury-like humanoid with her beak, and you watch as a little bit of static electricity just kind of appears around its body. It's not going to hurt her, but you sense there's a lot more than these Magian that meets the eye. But that is Muerte's turn. It is now Villain's turn. Are we going or are we staying? Are we fighting? What's happening?
Well, we don't have to worry about being eaten by a portal anymore, so...
True. How long does it take to get from the bottom of the tower to the top, though?
Hard to say. Roll. I don't know. Make an intelligence check.
Or Brain Blast? Oh, would have Koboldening Bones?
Maybe about 10-15 minutes to get to the bottom normally.
We could probably do a fight in that time. Well, you know, I'm on the other side of the portal. I shouldn't even be responding. Sorry.
It's fine. You're like, to be fair, you do know that Uriel Lotus is coming up, so you're doing the mental math as you're waiting. Like, how soon is it gonna be till he gets there? I will say that there is some precedence for you to do that. That's fair.
It's
So
definitely a concern.
yeah, Villain. She's still concentrating on fly for you, but I'll say she'll just back up over here She can't quite see that mage. She'll just take the dodge action for now until she gets a better look at what's going on. Scales.
What does this,
Oh, actually. Oh, sorry. What's your dexterity modifier?
mine is 2.
2? Okay, actually the mage will go before you. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm so sorry. That's my bad.
No, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, that +4 dex mod. Oof. You will watch. Let's see here. Yeah, these boyos are gonna. Let's see. This one's gonna wander over here. This one's gonna wander over here next to you. These two are gonna try and get Zap Murta. You watch as they, in each hand, they conjure a little bit of static electricity, and they thrust out both their hands. They each make 2 shocking attacks. Let's see here. So this will be 4 attacks against Muerte. Let's see. 1, 24, 25, 11, which will miss, and 11, which will miss. So 2 attacks go through. Muerte will... Oh, wait, hold on. That's wrong. Muerte will take 17 points of lightning damage. Okay. And you, Hawks, you watch as this Magian kind of sizes you up. And you'll see it also kind of like conjures a bit of lightning in its hands, but it thrusts it out in a line. I need you to make a dex save for me.
Am I the only person making this dex save?
Because of the weird angle, it's in a line, so yes, you would be. You do
Okay.
see that the line whizzes past Everlast, but just kind of like goes through. It's like, I forgot to mention that. Sorry, it was a secret. I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry.
All right.
21. Okay.
So I can use my reaction to take no damage.
Will you?
Yes.
All right. You bring your shield up, and the lightning blast just hits the shield full force, and you are completely fine. This one, however, as it's wandering towards the stairs, Meepo, I need you also to make a dex save for me. This does the same thing to you.
Dexterity save.
9.
That wasn't good.
Okie dokie. You are going to take 20 points of lightning damage. You just watch as the lightning kind of fades from itself. And that's the Magian's turn. Okay, Scales, now it is your turn. Sorry to interrupt you.
Assuming this is some sort of magical rod thingy, I will move Can I see what's up here? Oh,
You can now, yes. At that kind of angle, you can kind of like poke your head above the little incline there. You can see.
huh. I think I will firebolt.
Okay. Who are you going to firebolt? That boil right there? Alrighty, go ahead and make your attack. Yeah, that'll definitely hit all right. So that is 8 points of fire damage. You'll watch as the fire hits its fleshy form. It will begin to burn, and you'll watch the creature be like, kind of like pat out its chest, but it clears to be clearly disturbed by this damage. It seems to be not quite frightened, but it's disturbed. So I'm gonna put a little marker on it. All right, is that your turn?
Yes.
Alright, Skunnock, it's your turn. You saw Meeple poke their head out and proclaim things to you.
Oh, dang it. Alright. I'm going to step back to the portal.
Mm-hmm.
And then.
Like 5 feet to do so, not a whole lot.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I'm going to use. Flying? Just going to fly up until I can see over this edge. What? Now, okay, what's going on? Oh my word.
There's still a
Um,
bubble of force floating there where the thing used to be.
Yeah, it's just kind of like bouncing on top of these two's like heads a little bit, kind of like a beach ball.
It's
You
kind of
get
just like
that.
that.
You get that scroll case I sent you.
yes. Yes, I do. It's very shiny.
It's like that guy. It's like that meme where the guy comes in with pizza and the apartment's on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm imagining. Just chaos.
Complete chaos.
And he's just holding a scroll case in one hand.
All right. Well, I remember this thing from way back in the day, and I don't like that it exists in my presence.
Especially
so
since there are
I'm
two
going
of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna firebolt this one that's not behind Morte.
Oh yeah, this one right here. Or sorry, this one right here.
Well, I wouldn't have advantage on it, but I do have a +1. It's probably fine. Alright, firebolt. Yeah,
That will certainly hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
that will be 11 fire damage.
11 or 10? Is that a 3 plus 7 or?
It is. I have Oh god, elemental atoms. So it is one more.
Oh right, of course. I almost forgot an elemental after. Okay, yep. Minus 11.
When you have as many fire related damage dice as I do, it's a very good investment.
It's true. All right, this one also seems distressed that it was attacked by fire. We'll start thrashing about a little bit.
That's good. That's good. I think we discovered that last time we fought these things. Yeah,
You
so I'll
did,
just
yes. They seem to have
yeah,
an
I'll-
aversion to fire.
Yeah, I'll use the rest of my movement to like go here and like down so I can take cover behind the thing.
Indeed, indeed. Alrighty. Hox Hagnar, you just saw this tiny little Magian just shoot a little bit of lightning at you to no effect. What do you do?
Try to take him out of the picture. So, kind of order. I had to drop the enlarge to get through into this room,
You did.
but I'm also not reduced.
Right.
So they will have a net no change to my bopping here.
Alright.
I think I will roar to give myself advantage. And that roar will also affect this guy.
Okie dokie. Ooh, almost dropped my water bottle. Alright, they're roared.
And I will take my fancy tower cracker and try to beat the snot out of this guy who's right here.
Okay.
So 3 attacks with advantage.
Let's see. Okay, let's double check. Okay, all of those attacks will, in fact, hit.
All right. So for 20 damage total.
All right. You can see, unlike the other Magen, these ones appear to be a little bit sturdier, and they crackle with a little bit of arcane electrical energy as you hit them. They're still standing, but they clearly took some damage.
Okay. Well, in that sense, I am contributing. So
Alrighty.
that will be my turn.
Meepo. What you doing, Meeps?
I'm going to conserve spell slots
Smart.
and I'm going to move over to here and actually no. Over to here. That's fine, it's the movement. It's 5 extra feet to move up this way.
Only for Hawks because he's so big. For you, it's about 15 feet high.
Oh, it's 15 feet high. Okay. Well then let's do this. No.
How far are you moving?
I'm gonna action dash over to here.
Yes.
It's a lot of movement.
I think. Let me double check something.
Excuse me. Do you have the mobile feat?
Yep.
Okay.
That's not gonna help. Would it be? That's 15 feet up, you said?
Yeah, so to get up there, I would say it would take you 30 feet of movement to get up there.
30. 40 to get to there. Or no, 40 to get to there. I'd still have to dash.
What's going on? What's going on? What you thinking?
Yeah, I'll just dash over to there. It's not.
All right.
And that's my turn.
Okay. So as Meepo tries to run over there, clearly something in mind. It is Muerte's turn.
Magen to her far left, her right is roared. So
Indeed. So she will take that advantage, along with her bloodlust. Let's see here. Muerte Blanca. Muerte Blanca.
ooh, it's a good thing she took that advantage.
A very good thing, in fact. Ha! The 111 and then the 1. There, I'll even. The 12 on the second one, funnily enough. Max damage on that one. So that is actually going to be 22 points of slashing damage. A very good hit against this Magen, who is looking very worse for wear. You can see some of that mercurial blood oozing out of their body as the wounds start to accumulate, but they are still standing. It's now Villain's turn. She's like, okay, all right, clearly we're doing something. All right. It's like she kind of gets up to here. Let's see. She can't really see over there, but she's gonna do her best on something. She can see, however, this guy right here. So she is also going to conserve spell slots and chill touch that guy.
Now, is she using her normal chill touch or her?
She's using her normal one, and I don't think she wouldn't even like gain like a like. I don't even think it would have even added anything to it. That's a natural one. You'll see. You will actually see as she clutches her head for a minute. It's like, ah, darn it! That magical effect completely threw me off. Is it the new one or is it the old one? I don't know. But that is unfortunately your turn. It's now the flesh golem's turns, and they are afeared of the fire, so they have disadvantage on their attack rolls. So this one's just gonna go after the one right in front of it. After Muerte, this one's gonna stomp over to you, Meepo. Do you have Sanctuary up?
Nope.
You do not. Okay. So this is gonna be 2 attacks against you. That's 26 and a 17.
It has disadvantage, doesn't it?
Sorry, that's a 17 to hit. My apologies.
I think that still hits.
And I assume a 12 does not hit you.
12 does not hit. 17 does. Or class 16.
Okay.
Although, let me double check.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, 12 definitely wouldn't. But
I don't have shield. I have shield of faith.
Gotcha. Okay, so you will take. 18 points of bludgeoning damage. You just get sucker punched right in your gut. The wind leaves your lungs for a moment. It's more the fact that it wasn't less of like a direct punch and more just like its wild thrashing just caught you off guard. This one will also attack disadvantage against Muerte. No, not /R twice. 7. A 15 to hit Muerte, which will hit her. For 14 points of bludgeoning damage. Muerte's starting to look a little bit bloodied. But that is their turn. And then it's back to the Galvan Magin's turn. Let's see if these two get their static discharge back. Let's see, the one on the left, one on the right. No, neither of them get it back. So, let's go from left to right to make this easier on myself. You are, of course, wearing metal armor, are you not, Hawks?
I am, yes.
So these attacks actually have an advantage against you.
Alright.
Alright, so the first one is a 23 to hit you, and the second one is a 17.
Alright, the 23 will hit. The 17 definitely won't.
Okay, so you're going to take 10 points of lightning damage.
Alright.
Alright, because they're kind of clustering on Muerte, these Galvan Mages are going to continue what they're doing, and Muerte's not wearing metal armor. She's just kind of doing her thing. So there's just straight rolls, as I've been doing. So first one, 1623. So 11 will not hit, so 3 of those will go through.
I think I'm going to runic shield one of those.
Did you get your reaction back?
I had my turn in between the last time I used my reaction.
You did. Okay,
yeah.
just double checking. Okay, gotcha.
And this is what I saved it for. Yes, so I am going to runic shield one of those.
Okay, do you want to do it on the 23 then?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this then. It's gonna be in 18.
Okay, well,
A good thought.
that's
26 plus 4 for 3 attacks. 5, 8, and 8, so 16. 21 points of lightning damage to Muerte. Muerte's starting to look pretty hurt now. And this one's also going to attack you, Scales, with lightning punches. That's a 22 and a natural one, which automatically misses.
22 hits.
Alright, so you're going to take 9 points of lightning damage scales, and that is their turn. Now it is back to you to eke out some revenge scales. Ah, a very good call.
Oh, everyone, they're... Oh, wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's all gonna be advantage.
Mm-hmm. 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 Except the one in front of him, I believe. But still, like almost all advantage.
In front of who?
In front of you.
I can't attack that one. I only have 5 hits,
Oh! Right.
so I'm
But
ignoring
you
it.
can't just dip.
And I get to move away from him without getting hit.
Sure do, buddy. Go for it.
Teleport.
Zoop.
I kind of feel like at this point we need to dunk on these guys and then fly out the window.
Does that hit?
Let's see. Let me
golem.
look real quick. Yes. I assume you're going after left to right here?
Yes. And then the one next to Meepo would be the last one.
Alright. Excellent. Okay. Wow, that's 3 ones out of that. That is very sad. But yes, it will hit. 16.
Wow. Spicy.
The dip in how much difference in damage that was astounding. It's still up, but ouch. Alright, a 28 will definitely hit the creature. 29 points off that. And a 12 will actually still hit this guy down here, yeah.
Nice.
Their armor class is very low.
Cool.
But they are still standing. But you clearly did a lot of damage. This guy's on his last legs. This one's almost down 2. This one's very heavily hurt. Not quite as bad as the other 2, but getting there. The only ones that aren't really hurting too much are the golems. Alright. If that is your turn skills, it will be Skanuk's turn next.
I will use a Bardic Inspiration on... Let's go against the guy that the flesh golem that I'm standing against, to give him a Bardic Inspiration die against his next saving throw.
Gotcha. So your Eloquence Bard ability, yeah. Go ahead and roll that inspiration, the negative inspiration. -6. Okay, so he's got a -6 to his next roll. I gotta put that somewhere. There we go. There we go. Put it there.
Well, let's see. Exactly. Some of them.
Oh, I should point out, it was the end of their turn. They are no longer a fear of the fire, so they're no longer have that condition.
Ah, that should probably be fixed. Right? Hmm. I'm a little worried about this guy. How hurt does everyone look? Do all these creatures look?
Well, let's go in order. So, this guy, Death's Door. Death's Door on that guy. Not on Death's Door, but really hurt. Unfazed completely. Flesh Golems, slightly hurt, but nowhere near dying yet. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. This guy is, like, not quite bloody, but, like, still kicking.
I see. Right, they're fairly tough. Those dudes.
I'd say they're almost bloody, but not quite there yet. And bloodied is just a fancy word for saying almost half hit points, essentially.
Right, yeah. Okay. I'm going to target the flesh. I'm going to fly up again, hover up, target the flesh golem next to Marte. Because I think she's at the lowest health of all of us.
Oh yes, Morty is hurting real bad.
Advantage. Looks up. Can't take my. Not going to pull that up just yet. And firebolt.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
And that will deal 17. Oh, nope. 60. 18 fire damage. Good.
Ah, good old elemental adept.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he will become a scared again of the flame.
Scaredy boy.
Very scary boy. Big and
Nice.
beefy, but not a fan of fire.
I really wish that I really wish there was just an easy mark for what is a bonus action, what is not. In terms of spells.
It would make things a bit simpler.
It would.
Either way, though.
You know what? This is probably a silly idea because he's going to have advantage on me, but I'm going to go ahead and fly here. Or
I see.
fly here instead.
Alrighty. Hawks Hagnar.
So my roar from the previous turn is still active
Correct.
until the end of this turn. So I am going to first scooch over this way and step up onto the platform slightly.
Mm-hmm.
And I will make an attack action, and I will target him with the first attacks, and then see where that goes.
All right, go ahead and smack him.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit. All right. You cleave right through him, and he disappears in a puff of fire, mercurial smoke, and vanishes, leaving only the clothes
Alright.
he left behind.
And then I will also attempt to hit this guy with my other 2 attacks then.
All right, 8 points of damage, still up. However, with the third attack, he is also a puff of fire, mercurial smoke, and is no more.
Okay. I'll move into the space that he was in. And how much do I want to use resources? I think that I will then use my bonus action, having made an attack action on my turn. I will attempt to shove this guy, and it's going to be a shove to push him down, not to push him back.
Gotcha. Okay. Like
So
to knock him
that
prone,
is-
essentially.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't have Giant Smite active, so this is not going to be with advantage, but it is going to be a +10 on the roll, so athletics check.
Well, let me see what I can do with a +0, baby. That's an 8.
I had rolled terribly, and it was still enough. Okay, well, he is knocked prone then.
Yeah, you all hear a solid kunk. Let me just move this to the side slightly. Kunk as he is knocked down prone. And the weird thing about these people is that there's just no emotional reaction to any hit at all. They're just completely soulless. Just with every hit, every blow, just that same neutral expression looking back at you. Is that your turn, Hawks?
Yes.
All right. Meepo Molo. What is your
I
wish?
am going to cast Mass Cure Wounds.
Uh-huh.
30-foot radius. Let me put the radius on me just to see what that looks like. So I can't get villain, but I can get any other ally.
That's fine because villain has not taken damage.
Okay, and that's up to 6, and I believe that's 6 including myself, so we'll just say all of us. Where the damage is 3d8 plus modifier, which in this case I believe is 5. Yeah, 5. So. Might have hit the wrong. No, I did. Okay.
Okay, 14 points. You all heal.
Ah. Can we put some on here?
Oh,
Hmm?
sorry.
What happened?
I was intending to. Oh no, I was gonna upcast a different spell, but I decided to cast this spell instead. So never mind. We're good. No problems.
Sorry, one sec. I had to close my door, turn on the fan, because it's getting a bit hotter here. Okay, if that's your turn, Meeple, then it will be Muerte's turn. Muerte is looking pretty rough, but Muerte doesn't care. In fact, Muerte is going to
Muerte was included in that 14.
I know, I gave her the 14.
Okay.
Don't worry, I added it. She is going to take 2 attacks and get advantage in doing so. Right. Boop. Boop. Either there's a 19. Nope, they are not. But they will still hit nonetheless. For 18 points of damage. Is that enough? It is in fact enough. This boyo is in fact also eviscerated. It's now Valin's turn. And Valin... She's conserved most of her spells, so she isn't too... well... she just wants, well, you know what? She doesn't know if she's going to get another chance to use it, so you know what? She's going to cast Blight on that boy. She's been conservative enough. Alright, so this guy's going to make a con save. Does not meet her DC, so it's gonna take the full damage from Blight, which is, no bueno. Alright. Gonna take 29 points of necrotic damage. He watches that mercurial liquid just seems to, like, drip out of it. Like almost like it's dripping out of like weird veins in its artificial veins in its body, and she ducks and runs off this corner over here to get out of the way. It's now the flesh golem's turn. This one's frightened, so it's just gonna thrash. Ooh, actually, yeah, it's just gonna thrash. You notice, however, that this one, as it gets closer to, like, unraveling entirely, you watch it start to go berserk. Or seemingly go berserk. I need to roll something. Okay. It doesn't go berserk. But it seems to be on the cusp of flipping out. Either way, though, it's going to make 2 attacks with disadvantage. Against Muerte. Okay, well, let's save Muerte from a natural 20. That's good. So it's going to be 25. And a 12, which will miss Muerte. Yes?
I've had my turn since the last time, so I might runic shield that 25.
Okay.
And try and get that to miss as well.
Alright, runic shield.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay, runic shield. That's a 10. It misses.
We need to save our bird.
Yes.
It is much appreciated. I will continue fighting until my last breath. And she will just starts. She's like still tearing at like the cloth that this mage left behind.
Let's make sure your last breath is in like years from now, though.
I will die fighting. Either way, though, the one who has not been torched with fire is, let's see, I gotta actually roll a d2. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. 1 is scales, a 2 is Meepo. Meepo it is. Do 12 and 11.
Neither of those hit 16 AC.
Yeah, 16 AC, but those will
Nice
miss.
field.
It just starts thrashing at you like, "Durr, durr, durr." But of course, you just kind of like, you're like, gotta just scamper out of the way. Yeah, that's their turn. There's only one Magen left. Does it get its thing back? It does get its discharge back. The good thing is that it has some very juicy targets here. The bad news is that there isn't really a good way to utilize a line in this situation. I can only really hit... Muerte's large enough for that, yeah. So yeah, if it went down here, there's no way it's gonna get Skanuk in this. That's fine. You do get an opportunity to attack Skanuk.
Let's see. Don't have the Warcast, actually. Probably something to be in the list, but I do have a knife. Yeah, sure. Oh, no, that's a mistake. All right. Oh well, that'll be a 26 to hit.
That'll definitely hit. And you just go, you just shiv him.
Minimum damage 4.
That's fine. 4 damage, you know, it's something.
That was a bad idea. Okay.
It just sort of power walks down here. You see its gait falters slightly as you shiv it in the leg. But it turns around, and it lifts both of its hands, and unleashes a discharge of static electricity. So... Hawks, I need you to make a dex save, and I need to roll a dex save for Muerte. Interestingly enough, as it hits the flesh golem, you watch as the wounds begin to stitch together.
Can't use my reaction to turn this into nothing, but
The flesh golem heals 20 points. Muerte needs to make a dex save. It didn't take so long to load. Muerte rolled a 19. So she only takes 10.
I rolled a 20, so I shall also only take half, correct?
Correct, you only take 10. Scale, it is back to you.
I'll command the flesh golem before me to grovel.
Alright, let's see here. It's a wisdom save, right?
Yes.
Wisdom. Okay.
And that one has not had to make a save otherwise, so it still has the minus.
Mm-hmm, sure does. So that's a 15 minus 6, so it's a 9.
And that definitely fails.
Indeed it does. So it will go prone on its next turn. Right. Anything you want to do with your bonus action, or are you good?
I'm good.
Alright, Skunnock, it's back to you.
All right. Well, if he's going to be healing that guy, then he probably needs to die first. So I'm going to firebolt him.
Alrighty.
20.
Oh gosh, yeah, you guys hit so hard. Yeah, that hits.
Healing. That's the right roll.
Skunnock jumps through that portal.
Ow! How much is that?
That will be 26 points of fire damage.
Yeah, you got him. Poof! Disappears in a puff of smoke and mercurial essence.
Excellent. I'm going to be over here, away from the flesh golem.
You get to kind of tiptoe out of its reach over there. Back to you, Hawks. Get your reaction back.
Alright. I will stomp in here. And try to beat the snot out of this one that's engaging with Muerte. Do we feel that we're going to try to run after this and just get out of the tower in general? Because that might change my usage of abilities.
Well, we had about 10 minutes, and it's only been
It's
like
been 24
2 or 3
seconds.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's not even been a minute yet.
Alright, I'm not going to be able to get advantage on him for this turn, but I will activate my Giant's Might. Which
Okay.
won't make me bigger, because I'm already bigger than it would make me.
Indeed, indeed.
But it'll give me that extra D8 on one of my attacks, and if I decide to... Well, I can't shove him this turn, but in future turns, if I try to shove, that will help.
Indeed.
So yes, I will try to bop him with my my Tower Cracker. That's not what I wanted to do. A 16 and a 20.
Alright, both of those will definitely hit.
And we'll throw the D8 in on the 20 to make it 16 damage, and then the 16 is 7, so if I can do math, 23.
23. Alright. It's looking a bit rough now. Most of what was healed has mostly been taken away.
Alright. And that is all I can do for now.
Alright, Meepo, it's back to you. Beacon of Hope. Alright.
Haha. They all fit.
Alright, so everyone gets advantage on death saves and wisdom saving throws. And regains max hit points when healed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's an action. Let me double check something. I want to see if it's a bonus action. I don't think it is, but I want to double check.
Fair enough. Check away.
Yeah, it's an action. Okay. That's my turn, I guess.
Alrighty, in that case, it's back to Muerte. Muerte is fixated. Let's see here. And thankfully, due to the contributions of a certain artificer, she now has magical attacks.
so yes.
So, let's see the damage that she can do.
Canuck has no intention of
Let's
being the first against the wall when Morte's rebellion begins.
Okay, so it's not a 19, so it's not a crit. But she'll hit both times. Okay, that is 12 points of slashing damage against this boyo. You will not get the best of me, you little shit. And she just starts rapid drill pecking against this golem.
He's part woodpecker.
Right. Fill in. Kind of sneak up over this way, kind of peeking her. She's a bit taller than Yuskana, so she could peek a little bit over the ledge there. It's all height, man. Sorry.
A little bit taller than you, he says.
Look. Let me double
She's
check.
got 3 feet on me. What are you talking about?
Look. It's all a matter of perspective.
Even
Yeah.
if she is short, she's still way taller than him.
Okay, she actually can do something a bit different. She is going to target This flesh girl over here, you will see her point out her hand, and a sickly green ray of energy will shoot up from her fingertip. So she's going to make an attack roll against the golem. Oh, wait, no, hold on. It's not that one. Hold on. Not that one. There's two spells that are very similar in name.
Innovation ray and ray of sickness or something. Sickening ray.
It's Ray of Enfeeblement is the one I'm looking at.
Right.
Yeah, I was looking at Ray of Sickness, but it's a little bit high level, but she doesn't really use her second level spell slots a whole lot, so it's not a real big loss for her. It's still a ranged attack roll, though. A 13 will hit the creature, so now that it's hit... Okay. So she, as it hits, you'll see she begins concentrating. She puts her two fingers to her temple and she begins holding on to something as she's grasping. And you watch as the stitched on muscles of the flesh golem begin to sag slightly. It will now only deal half damage on attack rolls using strength until the spell ends. It can make a con save at the end of each of its turns against the spell. So, there we go. So that's Villain's turn. It's now the Flesh Golem's turn. So eeny, meeny, miny, mo. 1d2. Here we go. A 1. So going after you, Scales. So I double check the wording of the spell to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, it's only half damage, not disadvantage. Okay. If it hits. A 17 and an 18 to hit you, Scales. Did both of those hit?
Both hit.
Okay. The good news is, these are only going to do half damage because of Villain.
Except, no, because he has to grovel.
Correct! Shit! I'm so bad at this.
All good.
Let's,
So instead of...
let's say that she knew that and was going after this one instead. Because she would have known that. So, this one goes prone. This one instead attacks Muerte then. Let me reroll this. Let's say she knew that it was not controlled by someone who forgets things very often. 15, she does still hit. Okay, so.
We lost a certain Meepo.
Oh no, Meepo! No! Oh, we wait for her to come back. I'll finish this turn, so it'll deal half damage against Muerte then. If both of those would hit. Okay, so 8 and then 7 for 15 damage against Muerte. Actually, hold on.
Hear me now?
We can hear you, yeah. What's up? You good? Everything okay?
Yeah, you were just robotic and I couldn't hear you for about half a minute.
Oh, shoot. Okay, it makes a con save. Yeah, is everything okay now, though?
Yeah, you're fine now. I just had to restart Discord.
Okay, cool. Okay, so it's no longer under the effects of the ray. Gala Majors are gone. Okay, it's now up to you. There's a prone golem in front of you.
Place for golem to be.
Alright. So it's prone, so it has disadvantage on the opportunity attack. Let's see here. Yeah. 7. So disadvantage. Does a 15 hit you?
15 hits.
Okay. Okay, so you're gonna take 11 points of bludgeoning damage. Alright, so that will still hit. It's for 11 points of fire damage. Looking a bit rough. These are quite tanky boys. Alright, is that your turn, Scales?
Yes.
Alright.
He takes how many points of fire?
Oh, sorry, 20 points of fire. Shut up. Ah. I'm getting tired, man. All right, nine more, and 9. Okay, so he's a little bit more hurt than it was. And he's afeared while prone on the ground.
It's a bird.
As a bonus action, let's see. I'll do that on Muerte.
Alrighty. Skinook.
Oh, I have to do some damage. Let's see. Scary up a bit. This one is still standing, so let's give him a first day. Advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Firebolt. Be 29 to hit.
No,
Oh,
it doesn't
30.
hit. Yeah, it hits.
Oh no! And a 13 damage.
13 damage. Okay. You watch as his form begins to disintegrate into ash and smoldering bits as the fire consumes him.
Excellent.
Alrighty.
Scurry away.
Alright, as you scurry away, Hawks is now back to you. You have a prone target in front of you.
Indeed I do, which means I do have advantage without roaring. Which means I will attempt to bop him multiple times. Bop. Bop.
Mm-hmm. Yep, hit.
And bop.
All
And
three
one
of
of
those
the-
will hit.
One of those will get a D8. So it'll be 11, 14, and 15.
Good lord, that is... that... How do you want to kill this creature?
Well, considering that it was down on its hands and knees groveling, I think it makes sense to just line up one big chop and take its head off.
Alright, and that you do. You line it up like golf club style, and you just chop right on in. And the head just kind of goes flying right off the edge over here. Just right over there. Just you sure go tung 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 tung.
That was rather gruesome.
I mean, it was a rather gruesome creature.
I suppose you're right.
With that though, combat is now come to a close.
Everybody gather around Wallace to have this spell active. We're gonna heal that right up.
That looks it's this fight with more health than he started with.
Yeah, I think Hawks is up 2 points of health from how he started.
Yeah, Muerte sort of limps over.
Thanks for taking the blows for us. You would have done Savage proud.
Everybody gets full
I would do nothing
Uh,
less.
29 hit points.
29 hit, you said?
Yep.
29. Okay, so plus 29 for Muerte. Villain has not been injured, so she doesn't heal anything. But Muerte gets a good chunk back.
That's exactly the amount of hit points that I was missing.
Hey. Yeah, so Muerte is like 2 points a few points away from half health.
Well, I could always tell you what. I'm going to cast my own spell, or I do not have the other one. Okay, yep. So I'm going to cast Cure Wounds. So she's
It
going
is
to get
maximum,
yes. So she will get 8 plus 5.
so 13 more.
Oh,
Nice, 13 more. All right, so you're now above half health and a good chunk more. 61 out of 106.
But really, we should start running.
Yes, we
Or I
should-
guess we
Scanuck, Scanuck, you got
Yeah.
your bag there?
Yes.
Hawks, can you just kind of like shove some of those books into that bag?
You got it.
You will see Everlast kind of like pacing back and forth. You should probably all try and leave as soon as you can. I feel my
Okay.
master's presence slowly, but
We have what, like 8 minutes?
not but he's
Fine.
coming and he'll be here soon-ish. You should probably leave.
Right. And we don't want him to like as soon as he figures out that we were in here, he's going to go herring off looking for us. So we do need to be on our way a little bit before that.
That is
Right.
a correct assessment. Please proceed post haste to the nearest exit of the facility if
Okay.
you can.
So just to make sure that we got the scroll case, we got the staff, we got the crystal rod, we've got the book, and we've got the mercury vials.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Let's also shovel in some books, like, you know, as much as we can do in a minute
For history.
A
for
single
historical
round.
purposes.
Pops just sweeps his two arms and grabs as big a pile as he can. Hold that bag open for me.
I've got it.
Just buried Skinux in books. And then Skinux just shovels his way out using the bag.
Yep. Well, I hope this is the storage bag.
All right, you could basically just start shoveling nonsense. Now, to be fair, at this point, the bag is starting to look almost full, essentially, from all the stuff that you put inside.
Hey. And away we go.
And away we go.
And here we go.
Grab like a scrap of paper on my way out, just in case.
And they bravely
Yep,
ran
any
away.
newspapers, books.
Yeah. What'd you say, Meepo?
I said I'm gonna grab a scrap of paper or two as I pass by.
Absolutely. Yeah. You just kind of like get a little bit like some old notes. Yeah. There's a few old notes there. Yeah.
Everything. Well,
Hey, thank you for your help, shiny guy. We'll make sure that we
try and
do
fix
what we can to get this place up and running.
Please do, and I hope to see you again, safe and sound. Hopefully, we can build a brighter future together.
Aha, brighter future. I get it, because you're made of light.
He pauses for a second. Was that an attempt at humor?
Yeah, he does that.
It was satisfactory. Now, please hurry.
Alright.
All right.
Through the portal?
Through the portal you all go.
Are we being too cowardly to not try and fight Ethereal Arthas? I feel like anything with a lich in the name is probably pretty bad, right?
I feel like we probably
Yeah.
could have fought him if we had started at full.
You see Philin look over at you. It is not cowardly to have common sense.
Something that the floating noggin doesn't have at this point. Alright.
Much too true.
Alright. Everybody hop on. I'll embigify myself again.
Here we go.
All right. As you take off, who gets on last? I'll say. I'll say
Probably
Scales. I'll say
Alright.
Scales since he's all the way back there. Scales, as you look behind you, you see for a brief moment a skull with two emeralds slowly comes through the doorway, just as you all are jumping off of the balcony. And you hear a scream behind you, and you cover your ears from the pain, but you shoot off into the city, and you have escaped the spire of Auriel Arthas. Ah, well, that was a bit close for comfort.
I thought we had more time than that.
So did I, but he must have sensed something was wrong, or perhaps there was a different factor at play that we didn't account for.
Well, I suppose he can fly, so that might make getting up there more easy.
That is also true.
So now we have to find somewhere to hide, so we don't get our insides turned into outsides.
True, but where can we hide it? To be fair, there are plenty of places to hide, but which particular place should we hide in?
Well,
You'll
which
fe-
of these places have what?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was trying to stifle a cough. My apologies. Go ahead.
Which of these places have we not gone to before? I guess.
The only place that you have not gone into in this city is this prison-looking building down here, close-ish to the spire entrance. It's the only place in the city that you have not gone to.
Well, the last place they'd expect us to go is the place they'd throw us if they caught us.
Possibly.
That's called logic.
Yeah, you'll feel a slight tug in your coat, Meepo, as your tiny little fishy mouse companion will stretch as it awakens, as it has missed the entire experience by being asleep. It squeaks at you, expectantly. I believe you named it Trickle, correct? not Chumpy Bastion. It's a different game. No, this was specifically the chimeric pet that Meepo had gotten from the menagerie. The mouse that had a whole bunch of aquatic accoutrements or adaptations rather on its person, fins, gills, the lot. Are you there, Steven?
Yeah.
Okay. But while we're, Villain will say, while we're here, let's take a look at some of those notes, shall we? But of course, I have my own reading to do. She kind of pats the spell book. But I'm curious what those notes say.
Right. I thought they'd be something useful for at least the professor, if not you and the professor, or maybe even Skinnet.
Indeed. Yes, let's take a good look, shall we? As Villain will pull out the Professor Orb of Professor Scant. And at this point, as you're all kind of flying down in the direction of the prison, you kind of hop inside. The gate is kind of like blasted open, so you kind of like squeeze yourselves in easily enough. It's very cold in here, mostly just from a draft that seems to be coming from like just like kind of like crashed and cracked walls. But you spend some time here reading a little bit. You look at some of the books, you look at some of the parchments. As you look at some of the notes that you grabbed from the table, let's see here. Yeah, you in particular, Skanuk, as you're reading one of these notes, it seems to be a schematic of the Mythalar, the orange glowing sun-like orb below the spire itself. And as you're looking at these notes, Skanuk, it tells you that up to 8 spellcasters could attune to this device at one time. And you look over to Hawks, because part of what he said about he had mentioned at one point that it needed Riolothis's approval, possibly, for the city to move. That was partially true, because for all the people who are attuned to the Mythalar, all of them have to agree to use it to power the city to move through the sky. So all creatures who are attuned to the Mythalar all have to agree to move it at the same time, essentially. Which makes the vision that you all saw, or that he saw, of the city only flying with Riolothis's flick of his wrist was because he was the last person to agree for it to move. So that explains that vision. It also could use its power in that same vein to control the weather for miles around it.
Ooh.
Indeed. Pretty much
Well,
confirming what Villains and the Arcane Brotherhood's research had even brought them down here for in the first place. And probably could have been used to counter effect the Rhyme with a Frostmaiden, were it not for her untimely demise at as I broadly gesture towards you all.
Right, yeah. Love it.
Yeah. Meepo, as you're looking over the pages that you grabbed, let me see here. Let's see here. Ah, okay. Here's what you would read, Meepo. You read that there is, in fact, a command word to deactivate the force field around the spire. That word is Alostin. Now, I'll type it out in chat.
The spire is the one that's in the
It has-
throne room.
Yes, the spire is the very central tower in the city, essentially. That entire tower.
I still don't know what the spire does.
No. Sorry, it's the tower. It's not the spindle, it's not the obelisk. It's the tower. This is the tower.
Wait.
It's just a building.
Oh,
Nice.
the,
It's
okay.
the building, the
We
tower.
can get rid of the force field and just let it be.
Yes, essentially. To
The
remove...
spindle is in the tower, and the obelisk is behind the tower, and the spindle stopped the obelisk from. Yeah.
Well, remember, the experiment that they did, I believe... It shut off the Mythalar, which is magical in nature, and the Mythalar was powering the City of Flight. Because of that, it caused the city to fall, get trapped in the glacier, and apparently the anti-magic field lasted for an extended period of time, according to Veneranda, which prevented anyone from teleporting the city out. And at that time, everyone had already gone mad from the arcane blight, is what she told us.
I'm just wondering if they had any other, like, long list of words for tall, pointy structures.
At this point, they've pretty much used the entire dictionary, I feel.
Ah, yes, there's the spire.
Oh, wait, here's one. If it's a high point, they only need to say it's an acropolis. That's one they're missing.
Needle?
Needle, that's a good one.
Yes.
Spike.
Point?
The pinnacle.
Pinnacle, that's a good one. I love these word exercises with you all. It's so entertaining.
See, we could name the locations in our own flying city very easily.
Indeed, when we take
Sister?
over this city, we can rename everything.
Everything's really pokey here. You notice that?
They really do like that aesthetic. It's a bit gaudy, but I'm getting a bit used to it. But that's only because it's more of familiarity.
Spine.
Spine, that's a good one. It's true. They are the Lords of the Edge. Who kind of like nod towards you, Scales. Let's see. There's also apparently a command word to reopen the magic door that you use to get through into Uriel Arthas' study, but probably not too useful here. That word is Saldrenar.
Saldrenar. Okay.
How about that scroll case?
What do these words mean, Professor?
That's really names, don't
A
they?
good question. I believe Saldrenar... It sounds like a name of some kind. It doesn't translate to anything in particular. Lostin, though, I believe is a different word for... It's a mix of Draconic and Elven for abjuration or field or shield, I believe. Like a different word for Aegis. There are a couple different interpretations. Sorry, what'd you say?
I said, I bet they've got a bunch of different words for that, too.
Oh, most certainly. I would not doubt it. That scroll there, I can't help but notice a familiar engraving on the particular words on the case that perhaps mentions the Trask.
Is it?
Yeah, you look at the casing more closely, and there is a tiny little sigil that resembles a fearsome reptilian-looking creature with. And to be fair, it matches the aesthetic of everything else. It is similarly spiky as the general surrounding architecture.
Wow. That's good.
We really shouldn't, but
We could just bring it down to the old anvil over there and see what happens.
But you're not going to destroy it, are you?
What would happen if we destroyed it?
it would explode
Well,
probably.
then the information would be lost.
Right, and then nobody
Yeah.
would be able to summon a Tarask.
No, look, I'm telling you, we can take this scroll to the island and release it there where it can't get to anybody. And we can watch it from a distance and see what it does.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like your thinking, Mr. Hagnar, Professor Skent will say. If you don't mind, I can actually tell you a little bit about the little bit of the, biology of the Tarask, its many different abilities. I could go on and on and on. And trust me, he will go on, Villain will say.
Hmm. Well, let's let's maybe do that in a moment. So I was thinking, right? This staff of power, as nice and fancy as this staff of power is, like we'll say, pulling it out of the bag.
Whoa.
That's concerning. As
Staff
nice
of
and fancy.
dubstep.
Yes. Oh, that's terrifying.
What is dubstep? Is that some new music that I haven't heard of yet?
It's kobold music.
Kobold music. You'll have to
Yeah.
show it to me sometime.
It's mostly made by like banging rocks against big sheets of metal.
Interesting.
Right.
It's an acquired taste.
It's what we've got.
That's very fair. Very fair. Continue though. You're going to have to say something else.
Then again, I bet Scale's music is better than what we got.
So, our plan was to destroy the staff. Yes.
Our
That's
plan was to destroy the obelisk if possible.
That is true.
Right.
I remember. Now, to be fair, I'm not sure how much I trust a floating brain in a jar.
Not at all.
On a construct, not at all. She did mention that if you just try to destroy the staff, it would cause a great amount of explosive force around the person who did so. So that's at least one reason to not destroy it, even though it would be a good thing so that no one could misuse it. Though I would very much like to use it. She kind of looks at it, but I understand that I shouldn't. I already have one good thing. She kind of cradles the book. I'm not going to be greedy, though I would very much like to be.
What is that book anyway?
This, my friend, is the spell book of a real Arthas.
He's gonna be so mad at us.
If he isn't already, which I'm sure he was.
We
He
just
is.
robs him blind. And I'm glad, but still.
Yeah, Velen kind of looks over. I recognize that. I believe we found notes of some kind. Actually, no, I think, if you recall, there was that mage that was inside that force field in that laboratory where those other mages were. I think we found a similar crystal rod. I think that's actually a component in a spell to create new magen.
Hello.
Oh.
It is expensive though. Like that would probably be at least worth maybe almost 2,000 gold. That is intricate work.
How do they make so many of these things?
It's magic. I don't have to explain anything. It's magic.
I mean, I know. Like, obviously they made them with spells, but how do they get so many? 2,000 gold. I mean, I know it gets consumed, doesn't it?
I mean, to be fair, you sometimes find gems that are worth a lot in the ground. They probably just found a really good crystal and she just kind of pantomimes like chiseling.
Maybe.
If you know the spell Locate Object, you can potentially seek them out without having to, like, excavate in a big way.
Maybe.
And she kind of points at him.
What if the reason they're so rare now is because they used them all?
That, She kind of thinks for a second.
No offense, sounds like something wizards would do.
Or what if they wished for all of them to be within the city, like every single one that could have possibly been found in the world were teleported all here simultaneously, and they just have a stash of these.
Such magic is far beyond the scale of many spellcasters. I wouldn't be surprised if a real artist could, but that is still very powerful and not easily tampered with magic. If that were true.
I suppose.
Interesting thought, nonetheless. As you all are kind of having this conversation, and on the side, Professor Scant is like practically begging, and just sometimes even just throwing in random tidbits about the Trask, unasked. You all hear a clattering inside the prison.
Wait, we've been staying in the prison, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And there's cluttering in here with us?
It's not directly next to you, no. Like, it's like... So the inside... So it's like the actual building itself is around like maybe like 30 or so feet tall. But the prison itself like stretches like a good like 100 or so feet. So you guys are like still in like the main entrance. But there is a maze of cell line corridors that are basically kind of like through the door leading to the next area. All seeming with small barred windows set into these like different like cells at eye level. Do you wish to investigate?
Sure.
Yeah. Let's go snooping.
Alrighty.
Rather than waiting for it to come
Get
to
your
us, I guess.
clipboard out.
Alright, so as you explore, it is a veritable maze in here. Now, you spend some time exploring the area, looking through different places, and it seems like the place where this cluttering came from, you think, is what appears to be... You duck around like a corner, Meepo, and you look around, and you see what appears to be an infirmary, as you suddenly see like a collapsed wall. See about a 15-foot square infirmary in complete disarray, and you do notice that there is an operating table in the middle of the room. You do notice that the operating table seems to have leather straps extending from one side of the table into the air above its surface and fastened to the other side. And as you look closely at it, the shape of the straps on this table suggests that something or someone invisible is lashed to the table. And at this point, everyone kind of gets in. I need everybody in the room to make wisdom saving throws for me.
It's probably gone by now. Let's see.
Okay.
If I close my eyes, can I get a general feel for the shape of the thing lashed to the table?
You would. You would sense a general humanoid shape, but it wouldn't be like anything
Right.
particular. Like no specific details, but you sense a humanoid shape on the table. And you feel, all of you, as you enter this room, you feel as if something is peering into your minds. Like something is like delving deep.
Go ahead and add that to Hawks.
Let's see here. Okay.
That bump me to a 16.
Okay. You feel something delving in a little bit.
Scales hasn't rolled his yet.
Not yet, and the villain has. Marte, Marte. You got me wisdom save Scales?
Is it a magical effect?
This would be magical, yes. 11, okay. There is a pause.
Do you have a ring of mind shielding?
Nope.
Okay, I thought one of your characters did. I thought it was this one for some reason.
Yeah, so you do sense like something like poking and prodding your mind, but there is no voice that comes to you. You just sense like something feeling around for something, like, almost like feebly. But you do still see that there is clearly an invisible shape of a humanoid, or that you can sense, a Hawks, strapped to this table. That is clearly invisible by some force. But it's not responding to anything. What do you do?
Said it's thrashing around a lot. Kind of tempted to try the same thing I did with the pentacle and hit it with the stone rune.
It's not thrashing around. It is still and on the table. You just sense the whatever mental kinetic force is like connecting to you is like feebly trying to connect to you. It is relatively still on the table and like moving slightly, but is, for all intents and purposes, restrained.
Do we want to mess with this?
Well, if it's invisible, perhaps you can make it uninvisible, Meepo?
With dispel magic?
Possibly.
I mean, I would have to use a really high spell slot for that.
That is true. Merely a thought. But it's not really doing anything. Perhaps we could... I'm not sure what to do, honestly. You will see, though, as you're looking in the room, you will see that there is what appears to be a lockpick that is clanged onto the floor, and it's probably what made the noise. It's a very heavy looking, it's a very heavy looking piece of metal that is just like next to the table. What is everyone doing?
Sitting back and waiting to see what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. So, can you hear us?
There is no response. Except you would notice, Hawks, there was a slight movement on the table.
Well, it's reacting to us slightly, but it doesn't seem to be able to speak. Can you, like, nod your head if you understand?
The head nods slowly.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So it does understand us.
Okay.
Is it cursed?
Are you cursed?
The head kind of tilts to its side as if it doesn't completely know how to answer the question, but it kind of like tilts its head up and down once, and it kind of shakes its head. Perhaps a bit of a yes and no, maybe, or perhaps doesn't know how to answer the question.
Take that as a maybe.
Is it dying?
Shakes its head slowly.
No or yes?
No.
No. You've been here a long time?
There's a slight shrug on the shoulders.
You gonna do anything if we let you go?
Shakes its head. No.
Alright, well. We might as well at least break it out of this. Alright, I'll grab the lockpick and maybe try to do something with it.
All right. Go ahead and give me a dexterity check if you're going to do something with that.
What's keeping it down?
There are leather straps on this operating table that is holding it in place.
Is that going to be sleight of hand? Or
Mm,
just general dexterity?
this is general dexterity.
Okay.
Natural one. It's
I'm
not,
holding the
it's-
lockpick in between my claws.
Yeah, to
I'm
be
just
fair,
like, ah.
Yeah, to be fair, you are very big and the lockpick is very small, so it's not too much of a surprise. But you do your best, and you try and finagle it. Unfortunately, though, it just is not responding to your attempts to unlock the straps to kind of jam them open.
Well, if they're leather straps, we could just cut them.
Or
Or
could you
eat
just
them.
pull 'em?
Leather's edible.
Suppose it is?
If it's old, it should just pull. It should be able to just come apart. Well, I guess it would be able to push itself out if it were that old. I don't know.
Okay, well. I will, take my axe and see if I can't cut the, leather straps.
Right? Yeah, start to cut the straps, and they are surprisingly tough. But with a little bit of time, you do cut the straps off. However, the individual, it seems like they try and get up from the table, but they go back down.
Is there something else keeping you here?
The figure nods.
Is it just hungry?
Shakes its head. No.
Something magical?
Nods up and down. Yes.
Okay, something magical. So maybe we could dispel it then.
For a moment, you feel the
I'd have to use a 6th level spell slot to do that.
You feel the mental the mental kind of connection lingered on you a little bit more strongly, Hawks. For some reason, you're not sure why, but it's something. It's for some reason it's delving into you a little bit more deeply than the others. You don't know why. What were you saying, though, Meepo? I'm sorry.
I said if we were gonna dispel it, I'd have to use a 6th level spell slot.
Why 6th?
Because all the ones below that that are usable for that spell are used up.
Oh.
It's not even 10 o'clock yet.
Oh dear. Well, should you give it a shot anyway?
No, I'm saving this.
Well, what we could do, I mean, we could try to move him ourselves and see if that breaks whatever's holding him there.
I can certainly try.
Do you serve any gods?
Shakes its head.
No.
Are you opposed to any gods?
Shrugs. A slight shake.
I try to lift him off the table. What happens?
As you try and lift him off the table, you pull upward, and it feels like there's an invisible force that is keeping him down onto the table. As you pull up, it's almost like there's a flat plane of something that's pressing up against him. It's almost like you're squishing him for a bit, and you kind of let him go to prevent him from, being squished by it. But he's He cannot. It doesn't seem like he can be removed from that spot.
How would you feel about us coming back back later for you? Yes?
Nods up and down once.
Okay. Cool. Because I don't think we can do anything right now.
Does this effect seem familiar at all? Or,
Roll an Arcana check.
is there like anything? 24.
24.
We know.
Let's see here. You've seen invisibility spells before. That much is like par and parcel, not too difficult.
That's that.
But this in particular, this seems like something greater. You've heard of certain spells that can sequester certain beings to keep them in place. And then it clicks for you. If something were to sequester a being, it would become invisible and cannot be targeted by any sort of divination or scrying at all. It is, in some sense, in a form of suspended animation, but given what had happened to Yithrin, it's possible that this effect may have degraded over time, allowing it the freedom to at least sense something using its whatever mental acclivity it's using.
So, how? Huh.
There
Are
is
you-
there is a catch to sequester. There is a condition for the spell to end early. It can be anything of the caster's choice, but whatever that effect is must be visible within 1 mile of the target at that time.
Are you an enemy of Urilarthus?
Nods. It doesn't actually answer. It looks as if it's going to nod, but then it stops and it shrugs.
Are you like friendly with them? Because well,
It doesn't.
We might have burnt some bridges ourselves.
It doesn't respond. It is
yeah,
neutral.
we pissed him off, but good.
It is neutral. It does not respond.
You know what would break the sequester on you?
It nods once.
I'm going
Do we
to...
have any way of doing it?
Nods once.
I'm going to cast a ritual here.
All right.
Ooh.
All right. Creatures of your choice within range. Okay. Yep. Okay.
It is a divination spell, though, so...
Right. Let me double check the wording. Let's see. Can't be targeted by divination spells,
That's-
unfortunately.
That's tricky.
So I would say you would know that, and you wouldn't waste the spell slot.
I was doing it as a ritual anyway, so...
Yeah, so it's a ritual, so it's fine.
Okay. Do I have to spell magic in here? No. Surely not. That's like a 4th level spell, isn't it?
Dispel magic is a 3rd level spell.
Really? I should have that then.
I mean, it can be upcast, for,
Right, yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of inclined to
Um,
try playing the game of yes and no with him, just to see if we can figure out what the sequester's condition is.
Does it have to do with Urilarthus?
Shakes head. No.
Does it involve something in this room?
Nods head. Yes.
Does it involve the table?
Shakes head. No.
Is it the pick?
Nods head. Yes.
A lockpick. Do we break it?
It nods its head once.
Yes, then. So, if I take the lockpick and break it... Well, I have an adamantine battle axe. That's perfect for smashing a puny little piece of metal like this.
Yeah.
You know,
part of me think that's a bit excessive, but that's not the Skunnock part.
All right, I will place the lockpick on a nearby surface and line up a chop.
I'm gonna get behind like my shield just in case.
All right. You line up for the chop. You go once. You go twice. You're like, oh, are you going to do this time? And then you chop it in half. And as you chop it, the alteration around the lockpick fades. It was not, in fact, a lockpick. It was, in fact, some sort of strange rod of some kind. And as the magic fades, so too does the sequester. And you see the form... Actually, as you're doing that, roll a because you're the only one who noticed this, Hawks. Roll a perception check for me. Okay. You all watch as the figure slowly becomes invisible, starting from the boots,
Becomes visible.
slowly drifting upwards, slowly becoming visible. A pair of dark leather boots gives way to a dark studded leather armor. Looks very fancy. Suddenly giving way to a deep green cloak with white fur, revealing, eventually, the neck of dark, near obsidian skin, to bright violet eyes and long white hair. You recognize this face.
No
Hawks
fucking
Hagnar.
way.
You see,
No
you
fucking
see
way.
the face of Drizdo Worden staring back at you. And that's where I'm gonna end the session for tonight.
No fucking way.
Is this part of this?
You fucking what, mate?
Well, we'll have to find out next week, if you want to find out. So,
I'm just curious whether this is something you made up or whether this is something that's actually in the book.
well, we'll have to wait until next week to figure it out. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Of course, if you haven't already, check out Tessa on DM's Guild for her wonderful maps that she has made, as well as Travis Savoy for the wonderful music that he has made. And I'll make sure to drop the link in YouTube when I upload this. So wherever you are, I hope you're staying safe. And we'll see you next time. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Peace.